So I will start with 3 in opposed, and then go to 3 in support and 3 in opposed, and do it that way. That's the most fair way I can think to do it. And 2 minutes, please. Robert Hortzberg. Blair Boutte. We're not taking a video. We're taking comment.
I don't understand why we can't take a video. We've been listening to the presentation all this time. I think a video would be appropriate.
Yeah.
Revive NOLA has prepared a video. It's for public information, and we would just like to have it played for the pleasure of the council so that you can, when you're making your decision on funding the program, that you have all the information that's available. And I'll defer my time, and I'm sure there's others that would do the same.
I'll look forward to if you want to come to my office and do that, but we are way behind time now.
And it's not our fault, Council Lady, that you're behind time.
It's not anybody's fault, Ms. Bucci.
We would appreciate.
If you'd like to give your comments, give your comments. If not, have a seat.
My comments are that this is not a fair process if we cannot allow a video to be played that contradicts some of the information that the council is receiving today.
Okay. All right. The next. Matt Dennis. Yeah,
I'd like to start by saying you should play the video. It tells the truth about VERA. I am a fireman. I am an EMR. I am a former Navy veteran. I am a father of 8, and I am a bail bondsman. Where's the risk assessments, Mr. Wool? You have 5,500 people assessed, and you pay them for assessments, but you don't look at the assessments. Look at the assessments. Akeem Scott was a 3, guys. He's a 6 now. Telly Hankton's an 8. Ted Bundy's a 3. These people say they can protect us. You can pre-evaluate somebody to determine if they're a risk. I can't do that. I've been doing this for 21 years. I've been looking at people that are in jail and getting them out. And the one thing I never tell you is I can determine if they'll commit another crime. I promise to return them. Does he? How do they get them back to court? Do they get them back to court? What is their responsibility, Madam Guidry, other than to get a paycheck? What do they do for this city that's worth $500,000+ that the court doesn't do already? There's not one thing in the risk assessment that's private. I have one. I have Akeem Scott's, and I've released it to the press. And the public is going to get a full dose of it over the course of the next 2 weeks. We're going to bring the pressure to you to answer. Where are the risk assessments? You're paying them for money saved. Every missed court date costs money. Who missed court? You won't tell us who missed court. You won't tell us who they've looked at. You won't tell us one person that they've assessed. So how can you determine if they're saving us money? If you say releasing people, fewer people in jail, means less crime, close the jail. Then we have no crime. This is an insane way of doing business. I applaud Judge Hanson and the rest of the magistrates for ignoring a 3 on Akeem Scott. I applaud them for ignoring a 6. He shot 19 people, and he's a 6. He's not a 24. You know, if you live in your own house for 6 months, you can't be a 24, ever, ever. It is impossible to guess whether a person will commit a future crime. This is insanity. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Blair Boutte. I'm a local bail bond agent. And, Council Lady, I do appreciate you putting this hearing together, and I was very hopeful that we could do it in a balanced way, because I think for a city and a society to make decisions on behalf of the people, that all the information is good. And that's why we were so insistent on the video, and Council Lady Clarkson, we meant no disrespect, okay? I want you to know that a lot of the people you hear here today that are against pretrial services as rendered by the VERA Institute are not against pretrial services, including myself. We understand the importance of not allowing low-level, nonviolent offenders to languish in our jail for whatever reason. We support that, and we have always supported that. Our issue is this. Mr. Wool, in all his great efforts, has provided us information about the success. I've counted it. He used the word 8 times. The success of his program. But I challenge any of you to tell me if you've actually seen the data. You haven't. And how can Mr. Wool claim success and the VERA Institute claim success if the timelines, as what we see, we are pretrial services too. Mr. Dennis, who spoke before you, he's pretrial services. We've been doing pretrial services for 20 years. This entity of evaluation and assessments and risk assessments is just another element to that process. So we're not opposed to pretrial services, Council Lady, but we understand that public safety should be paramount to all of us. And just like Mr. Kabrikoff said, we do not like our city and our state being the incarceration capital of the world. We oppose that vehemently. But we do believe that our public safety issues and the fact that what we do as bail agents is important. And what we do that nobody here is talking about is returning defendants to court when they fail to appear. Now, I want to see that element. I want to talk about that. And lastly, let me say this. Council Lady Clarkson, and I remember Council Lady Head was speaking about this, we're having problems with our police department and manpower, and we're trying to bring folks in to help us. And I'm going to wrap up right now.
Okay.
Philadelphia, they pay $3 million a year for Fugitive Warrant Squad with the pretrial services program. What are we going to do when our police department is sitting here saying, I need more money and more officers so I can return some of the people that the pretrial services program got released on their own signature and a handshake?
I think they're looking pretty good with their percentages right now.
Because
I'm just saying we need
can
to
I
close,
reply to that?
close
The
up.
percentages are 96%, but that's only at arraignment. In our world of pretrial services, and if we had ever been invited to any of the meetings, we could have explained it to you. You can't just stop at arraignment and say, I've been successful. That's like stopping at the quiz before you get to the final exam. The final exam is, will the defendant show up through his entirety? Am I correct there? That's when you judge it.
It's time.
I appreciate your time. Thank you.
Rashonda Yost? What? Oh, good. All righty. Was that Rashonda?
I'm going to take 1 minute, and I'm going to close
all righty.
out.
Good, good.
I'm going to close out.
All righty.
Council Lady, what I believe is that this process has not been totally fair. The bail industry, a lot of our ministers here who are concerned about a nonprofit coming to town and receiving monies to do a service that hasn't been put under any scrutiny,